joining us are Anna and Michael Camacho, the founders of CORDA. They create candles with scents inspired by our Catholic saints. And just yesterday, they celebrated 6 years in the business.
Whoa,
Anna
6.
and Michael, thank you so much for being with us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for having us.
Congratulations on 6 years. Take us back. How did you learn to make candles and then decide to make a business of it?
Yeah, no, I love that question because I get to talk about Saint Joseph. We call him our co-founder because for a number of years I had tried to think of a business where it was creative and I could work with my hands and put something good into the world. And of course, Saint Joseph is the patron saint of people looking for work or the unemployed. And so he just kind of, I think, put this idea into my head. I'd never made candles that were scented. I had no idea how to, build a product business or ship things across the country or anything. And but he gave me this idea and kind of the first saint and the first scent recipes to start with, and just learned as much as I could, and here we are. So, yeah.
Hey, Michael, before he was canonized this past weekend, you had already been selling the Pier Giorgio Frassati candle for years. Can you tell us about the scent you chose? Something makes me think there's a little tobacco in it.
Yeah, there's that really famous picture of him with the pipe and up, on the mountains. So that was definitely some of the inspiration. Anna's actually been a big fan of Pier Giorgio for a long, long time. And so that was one of the very first scents that we created. That one smells like mountain air and pipe tobacco. So with all the candles, we're really trying to capture something of the essence of this person and kind of communicate it through the scent.
And what kind of process is it? What kind of research do you do when you're deciding which scents to use in relation to each saint?
Yeah, it's been fun because both Michael and I have created scents along the way, but even with the saints, I found the ones that I already had an affection for, thought I knew who they were and what their life was about. I've kind of tried to look at everyone with new eyes and really deep dive into their lives and try and translate the life of a saint into scent. And they've always surprised me. There's always more to learn. There's always more to love. There's always things that you see where God worked in their life that are just inspiring. They're encouraging, and such a great witness to us with all the things that we go through now.
Funny but true story. Sometime last winter on Amazon, I bought a candle making kit. The box is still sitting on a table in the kitchen. But be that as it may, you are professionals. You use a proprietary blend of, I know, coconut wax and also beeswax sometimes. What's the liturgical significance of all of this for Catholics?
Sure. Beeswax is something that goes back through the centuries for candle making, and it's such a pure product. It's such a beautiful product, and I know there's a lot of the theology behind the bees and the gift that they give through the wax and how the light, of course, reminds us of Christ. And there's some really neat things from the Easter liturgy and everything about beeswax, but I think just candles in general are something that we use within the faith, right? Just to symbolize the presence of Christ in the Eucharist and the tabernacle. When that candle's lit, we know that he's there. We light a candle at baptism. There's candles on the altar. So it's just this way that the church has given us to really represent Christ, the light of the world, and also give us something to kind of focus on and just to help us kind of enter into a time of prayer. So doing that in our domestic church, doing that at home, or maybe it's at the office or somewhere else, that candlelight can also just really help us create a good place for prayer, a very peaceful place, and help us to really focus and be present.
Now, with all the scents and the candles that you have, I'm curious if each of you have a favorite candle that you've created.
Yes, actually, do you want to go first?
Yeah, probably the March by Love candle for Padre Pio is one of my favorites. That has a scent of coffee, but also something special called the odor of sanctity. So the stigmata kind of gives off this really it's you know, across time, it's been recognized as something giving off a special scent that's a bit hard to pin down. But you know, sometimes people will say it smells like roses or like tobacco or some other, but kind of like a very beautiful and unique and mysterious scent. So we incorporated some of that into the candle for Padre Pio as well.
Well, the living room just smells great right now. I wish you were here with us, but you know, because you've created that smell, that classic look and smell. Can you just tell us what CORDA means and where people can buy the candles?
Yeah, so corda is the Latin word for hearts, and it comes from the part of the Mass where we've just finished the Liturgy of the Word, we're turning to the Liturgy of the Eucharist, and the priest tells the faithful, lift up your hearts,
Sursum corda.
or sursum corda, right? And yeah, and it's for us, this, if you translate sursum corda literally, it means hearts up. And it just reminds us of how in every moment of our life, whatever that looks like, whatever God has called us to, sorrow, joy, trial, you know, in every kind of concrete circumstance, we're called and invited to live hearts up, to live, you know, turn toward Him with trust and with praise. And so we wanted to capture that. Corda meaning hearts. We also are in the heartland, and we say we make everything, you know, by hand and with heart. So it just kind of brings all those things together for us. Our website is Corda and then candles.com, and there's great like in-depth articles on the saints on our blog. So even if you just check it out for those articles, but then of course there's all of our scents and candles to explore as well. So we'd love for people to visit cordacandles.com.
CordaCandles.com. I have Compline right here, and you can have a candle or two or three in your house. Do visit CordaCandles.com. And Anna, thank you so very, very much. Michael, so much. We thank you for joining us today. God bless you and your work, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, Bishop. You as well.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.